Software development has never been a more popular choice for a career than it has been in 2024 because it pays well, you can often work from anywhere, and it's quite easy to get into with or without a degree, which is not the case for many careers. There's been a lot of concern about what the software development scene looks like in 2024 because we've just come off the tail end of massive layoffs in big tech companies, which is mostly a result of a post-COVID shock and software development being more competitive than ever. But just because it's competitive doesn't mean that it's more difficult. In fact, I think you can stand out from most entry-level software developers by following a simple method to train yourself to become one. And this should work for any software development field, be it web, mobile, back-end games, whatever. So the method starts with learning the basics by finding an online course. There are plenty of them out there on sites like YouTube, Udemy, even my own website Zifra, which all teach you how to write your first lines of code, and by the end of these courses you'll be able to build something like a website or an app or any other kind of program. Now there are free courses like the ones you find on YouTube, and there are paid courses which you'll find on other platforms. Generally, the difference between these is how much time and effort has been put into them. A paid course will generally be paced better, it'll be more engaging and keep you more interested to learn because a lot more effort has been put to make sure that these courses are as consumable or as inspiring as possible. And not only that, but these courses are generally kept more relevant because software development is one of the fastest moving fields and you have to keep up. What may have been the best thing to learn 3 years ago might be completely irrelevant today. In short, paying for a course saves you time saved from shorter and better packaged lessons with less fluff, and time saved from otherwise learning things that are completely irrelevant. The second step in the method is to build something, a website or an app or whatever it is that you just learned, not only to reinforce the skills that you've just learned in the online course and remember them better, but you'll also discover that you don't know how to build certain features like databases, for example, which isn't typically taught in a beginner course. And this will force you to go out and learn that thing that you need to build. This is where you truly upskill and really learn the things that are required of a competent developer. And this is also the step that makes you stand out amongst other developers. Most people will learn the basics, not know where to go from there, and try to apply for internships or junior positions. And most software developers are at this level. And this is where you can stand out because by spending a couple extra months to just learn a few skills, you immediately enter the top 10% of developers. And at this stage, you can skip the internship, potentially even the junior stages of being a software developer, and get a head start in a mid-level position just by spending a couple extra months to upskill yourself. But again, it's important to learn what's relevant. In Android, for example, there's different ways that you can build a database. You can use plain SQLite, or you can use a library such as Realm or Room. These are 3 different ways that you can build a database in Android. So if you were in this position, how would you know which one to pick? Well, all you have to do is do a quick Google search. For example, Android Development Library 2024. And I can see a lot of websites say that Room is the best one to go for. Even better so if the official website of your platform recommends this library, which is definitely the case for Room for Android. And the final step in this method is to prepare for interviews. Software development is one of the careers where the interview is harder than the actual job. And this means you'll have to do a lot of prep work. Now that might sound scary, but there are a lot of resources to learn from. A great one is this book, Cracking the Coding Interview. It talks about the entire process of the kind of software developer interviews that you will typically face in most companies. This includes both behavioral and technical parts of the interview. And it's also important to study common interview questions for your particular platform. In Android, for example, there is one stage of the interview where you're typically asked to build a small app, which almost sounds like a given for getting an Android job, but it's good to be prepared nonetheless. And another great way to prepare for interviews is to do mock interviews, because there's no better way to prepare for an interview than to basically do it. All of this is why my Android development course teaches all the basics that are relevant, and after that, all the skills that are required of a competent Android developer that most employers look for. If you get the course now, I'll also give you a 3-stage mock interview when you finish the course so that you'll really be prepared for any Android job that you want to apply to. Commonly asked questions: do I need to have a computer science degree?
You don't need college to learn stuff, okay?
You don't need to have a computer science degree to start as a software developer. I personally don't have one. As long as you can prove that you've got the skills to be a competent software developer, you'll have no trouble finding a job. That's not to say that I'm against studying computer science at university. In fact, many people learn better at a university setting. It gives you a broad knowledge of many different areas of computer science, and you develop lots of social connections, which can be great for networking in the future, but also it can just be great for your personal life too. How long does it take to train as a software developer? Going from a place of never having coded before, with a moderate amount of effort, I think most people can get there in 9 months. And if you put it all into it, maybe even less. If you follow the methods that I described in this video, you'll only need 9 months or less to get a job as a software developer. mid-level job, potentially. What software development field should I get into? There isn't a definite answer for this. Web isn't better than mobile, backend isn't better than front-end, but you do want to find what sparks your passion. The difference in demand in salaries between different developer jobs is very little. And if you pick a software development field which you feel very passionately about, you'll get better at it quicker, and because of this, you'll get more money for it too. I don't know what software field I'm passionate about. Here's an exercise. Pick any software development that sparks your curiosity, like web for example, do a beginner course and stick with it for a week. If you feel the passion sparks, keep it up, and if you don't, pick another software field and do it again. This is the stage where you need to experiment and really find your passion and be proactive about it. If you do this, you'll get there, I promise. If you have any other questions, stick them down in the comments. I want to make software development as easy as possible for people to get into. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.